Hey, we are playing a game called ATMA. It is a tabletop RPG that is based on the Powered by the Apocalypse system, if that is something that means anything to you. And if it doesn't, don't worry about it. And it is a card-based system. It's basically designed with the idea that if you are a board gamer who would like to try tabletop RPGs, well, here's something that could bridge the gap, because a lot of your stuff is going to be card-driven, and it's prepless. I will be GMing the game today. I ain't prepped a ding-dang thing. So
yeah, you don't have to.
you flip cards over and you see what they say, and then you work together as a group to collaborate and figure out how to work that into your story. Yes, the 7 of clubs. There are 7 clubs here, and you must all pick them up and beat each other with them. There will be things that are attempted that will call for rolls. When we do rolls, our players will be rolling 2d6s, combining them together, and if you get a 7, that is a success, though maybe with some consequences. I believe if you get a 10 or higher, that is like you definitely did the thing you wanted. Yeah. And if it's lower than a 7, you failed, and we're going to talk about that. Thank you so much for subscribing, Ross Nelson. That's right on Shea's face. I'm just going to move that so that the alert is not. Oh, someone did. Oh, thank you for that donation from Anonymous. $20, so that means we all get $5. Thank you so much.
When were you dressed like an elf?
Yeah. I think for Halloween last year. Oh. I did like a Halloween week, and I did a lot of different fancy dress.
Maybe you feel funny about for just how's that?
What should we do with our $5 each the next time we all get together?
Yeah,
we're all buying corn dogs.
Yeah. I'm down. I think that's a great expenditure.
I think we're all getting eggnog from the place at PAX.
That was gonna be my pick.
Yeah,
that was gonna be my pick, Paula. We're right here right now, and I think that's
last time we did that. I drank all mine before Paula didn't even open.
That's very Matthew.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah, it's really filling. It's just like I'm not even.
It was that was so one of my favorite pure moments was just Matthew sipping it and just saying, I can't stop. That's all he had time to say. It was just like, this is so good. I'm never gonna stop this. This is just gonna go all the way down. And you lived up to your word.
Yeah. And I ate that Boston cream donut as well.
You ate it. I literally, y'all, this is not the game, but I remember we got donuts. We stepped outside of the market at PAX Unplugged where we got our food. I turned around, like we all had our donuts uneaten. I turned around, and no lie, I turned back, and Matthew just had like chocolate and empty hands. Like,
and he had blacked out. He's like, what happened? What's going on? Have we gotten donuts yet?
Noah's saying Matthew's got serious lactose powers.
He does.
I've said this to people before. I have eaten in the past a pint of ice cream and a milkshake. I have lactose intolerant.
You're lactose super tolerant.
I'm like super tolerant to lactose.
You only get stronger.
I've never even... The idea of dairy making me feel ill is such a foreign concept to me. It's unbelievable. Yeah. That's how Celtic I am. I'm that. That's
so funny.
So this is a physical game, but there is also an online, a virtual tabletop version of it that works very well, and that is what we're going to be using to play today. Because as you can see, even though honestly, actually, the backgrounds from Mike, Shea, and Matthew could all just be along the same wall of the same room. Like,
imagine if I high-fived Shea now.
I would be so jealous. I'd be like, I'm sorry, y'all didn't tell me you were all getting together in the same physical place for this.
That would have been so
us
good.
Versus you today. So
we will be using the virtual tabletop, which you'll see at the top here. You'll be seeing my view of it as the GM, which is a little bit different from the player view, but that's cool. So,
the cool thing with the virtual version is you can pull up anyone's cards and view them. So Paula and all of us, for that matter, have full access to look at everything. As if you were on a table, you could say, hey, can I grab that card? So this system,
it's really good.
We've done the virtual system. I think it's maybe our third time
I think so, yeah.
This is the fourth time I played it, I think.
Fourth,
exactly. And it works super duper well. It's very cool. And it's meant to be very easy to just get into, especially if you're trying to like run a game for the first time. And as Paula said, like that prep can be really a lot and worrisome and stuff, and here you don't have to worry about that because there's things that can guide you through the story.
Matthew is sharing this card with us, so now we are all looking at it because Matthew clicked on it and did share.
Yeah, which is really cool. So it's a good system. The virtual here works really, really well. Yeah. And you can roll your dice in here and everything. So
let me set the scene so you know the world that we are in, everyone. I'm going to read a little bit of stuff, and then I'll give a little info, and we'll talk about our setting, what we call our backdrop and our story. There will be a goal that our players need to succeed in through the course of 3 scenes. Each scene will have its own little mini goal that must be achieved before they can move on to the next scene, all ultimately serving the story goal. But first, let me paint a picture of the world. Thank you, Zimherger. We will enjoy the eggnog.
I'm drinking such a good cup of tea right now. You ever get a cup of tea and you go, oh, man, I did a great job with this one.
I feel like that, honestly, that's you in every cup of tea. Welcome to a world near our own. History changed with the discovery of ATMA, a volcanic mineral that empowers the living and entwines the dying. Machines have since evolved true artificial
Paula.
Intelligence. Excuse me. My brain started thinking, man, wouldn't it be great if we had background music for this? And because my brain went in another place, my reading failed. Although these artificial intelligence remain shackled to specific routines, while Earth's many satellite moons have cracked open to reveal an inquisitive alien race. Nations have contracted in these turbulent times, and the result is a tenuous peace across the map. It is in the restless zones, the cracks in the map between nations, where trouble stirs. Those who dwell here can rely on no one for aid except for you are, to steal a phrase, intrepid heroes. You are a skilled adventurer ready to test your limits against the world's dangerous frontiers. You won't be alone. Other heroes have answered the call. Learn to depend on each other and your creativity in the face of the unknown. The sky is getting darker. That is the intro to ATMA. I'm glad Noah in chat got my Intrepid Heroes reference. Shout out to anyone else who watches Dimension 20. So here is our background, or our backdrop, excuse me. We will be playing today, and there's a bunch of different backdrops, which are just like locations that you're playing in. And the one I have chosen for us today is Mahal Chandrama, which is in the Indo Kingdoms. This is the Cauldron Moon. So remember, it talked about how Earth has many satellite moons that have cracked open.
I've been to Earth before, Paula.
The Cauldron Moon, Lutu, was a prison, an archive colony with a void rift at its core. Thralls of the lost Titan Caliborn rotted in stasis, while Esper monks chronicled the psychic echoes of the Moonfall Wars. But sabotage brought the moon raining down upon the hydro dam at Mahal Chandrama. Now wardens Kaj and Arita hunt convicts. Monks help rebuild. It's basically Australia, you know? And the human adept Sharanjit seeks void secrets. Dreams of Caliborn proliferate each night, and the accretion engine stirs, ripping up valleys to build a raw new moon. So a moon has kind of crashed here, which was a prison moon. Convicts have escaped, so there's like convicts on the loose here. This cracked moon, we're trying to maybe repair a moon. There's all kinds of things. Dichotic says, nothing like Australia. So that's the setting that we are in. And here's the story that we have. And then I'm going to let y'all describe and introduce your characters, and you will figure out what has brought you all together. So our story here is exponential decay. And again, this was chosen randomly, but there's a bunch of different story cards. The eccentric Titan... Sorry, I should probably be sharing these with you all. I guess.
I can see them.
Share. There, sorry.
You could have shared them, but you don't want to sharing. So.
Well, true. That's why I'm the GM. The eccentric titan Nefrit bent the laws of nature to create impossible wonders. Cauldron moons, the accretion engine, a void portal network, and more. When Lutu crashed, her experiments reawakened in Mahal Chandrama's valleys, causing reality tears and gravity spikes that are rapidly destabilizing the area. Find and quell the experiments before they rip the region apart or are seized and weaponized by fanatics bent on far-reaching destruction. So the goal here is to deal with the unstable source of the dangerous anomalies that are happening in this area. And we will describe whatever this unstable source is once we get to scene 3. That's what this says here. So that's our overall goal. Can we find what's causing the anomalies and deal with it?
I like it.
Okay. So that's our first, actually I'm just going to flip over our first scene so people know where we're starting. The Regolith pasture. So we're going to be starting on the sunny moors on the sunny moors above town grow crops and regolith, which is living stone worn as titan shells. AI shepherds tend rock flea herds. Fungal polyworm trees zombify wildlife. Bandits prize their spores. Snowmelt rushes down the slopes at noon, sweeping them clean. So we'll talk about the rest of what's on this card in a moment, but I want to let our players actually talk about their characters. So we're starting on this pasture in our attempt to deal with these the unstable source of these dangerous anomalies, tearing the area apart. So let's start with Mike. Mike, why don't you talk about your character a little bit here?
Sure. So my name is John Dollar. Yeah. My whole thing is I was actually abandoned as a child and raised by the Kalu wolf pack, which are like ghost wolves.
Cool.
I think I played John Dollar last time, so I just kept on
You might have, yeah.
I think I howled for the entire stream.
That might be true.
So that's kind of my thing is like I'm a tracker, and I have a attachment and stuff to beasts and nature, and was kind of raised up in such a way that I had this kind of overwhelming sense of family and maybe the ability to commune with nature and things like that. So tapped into the natural world and stuff like that, which is super cool. And I can summon like ghost claws and a little wolf friend, my brother or my sibling, part of the pack. So I'm kind of like half man, half beast.
Yeah. And one of your kind of powers here on your card, and these cards are always just meant to be a jumping off point, y'all. So you can, if you're playing yourself, you can use it as inspiration, but you don't have to do exactly the character description on the card. But it does say here, when you follow the signs, so if you're doing something where you're like doing some investigating,
following my nose,
you get a special thing. You can roll using your plus tough stat here. 2. And if you have a success, you can choose one of these things: finding a hidden trail or den, deducing your quarry's condition, getting the jump on whatever made tracks, and you have a talisman of ATMA and iron, and 3 health.
Bam.
And you'll start with a move here. So every scene you get a new little like power you can have access to.
Yeah, so I start with...
Chat's making me laugh right now. I'm sorry. After it's Dichotic says John bottom dollar, and Sassman says John is a top for sure. Making me laugh. Not... Sorry.
Gotta love it.
Or a power bottom, what are you going to
do? John does how John does. It's all beast mode right here. Kalu Wolves is my first move for my first scene here. And so I have the ability to channel a feral spirit, my feral spirit here. I have to roll plus hasty, and on a 7 up, I get to basically have an effect that lasts for a few minutes. So I can change my hand to ghostly claws, which is what the imagery of that the art is showing, which is I'm just going to do
awesome.
Within 3 seconds of starting this. I can kind of center myself and sort of still my heartbeat and breathing and kind of Or I can summon my ghost wolf sibling Eerie, who I grew up with. It's kind of my closest companion and help teach me about the world. So there's that. But if I don't roll 10 or higher, the GM could decide that like maybe I get consumed by the rage and things like that. There might be a
consequence.
So,
yeah, and y'all can see this little symbol here means so as things happen in the game, I as the GM I'm gonna earn tokens, which you can see here, or like you've got them in real life right there. And I spin those tokens to be able to like bring in new characters, add a prop, deal harm, do different things to affect the story. So that's what that symbol means.
Correct. Yeah. So that's my first move. Is
cool.
Just kind of go in beast mode, which I'm super excited about.
We're just gonna move our way backwards. So Shea, why don't you talk to us about your character?
Yeah, I'll share it. I am Singer, or let me flip this. I am. To study time travel, renowned physicist Asaph Singer accepted anyone's funds, from the Orbis Institute to criminals like Nero. He almost cracked quantum lattices with Kilo Okwasi. When they parted ways, Singer finished the theory alone, but a blast raised his lab at thermocephaly and desynchronized him from the time stream. In the years since, Singer has roamed the globe, evading his past while seeking new cutting-edge hypotheses to test. Each is a chance to learn and an opportunity for insight into repairing his temporal state. Desperation, not hubris, dictates who he'll work with, but there's still probably a fair bit of hubris in there. But he's no longer blind to the consequences.
Cool.
What is going on?
Like
so
first...
my so my moves, initial thing is timelines. An accident desynchronized you from the time stream. I kind of have the idea with the our current situation and the goal that we're going after with all these unstable rifts. Like maybe at the beginning, I was just like thrown out of one of these rifts. Like,
yes.
So I just like crashed into the other two. I'm like, we gotta fix it.
I'm walking around carrying Matthew.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So an accident desynchronized me from the time stream. When I close one eye, I can see into this area's past or future and spy something useful.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Also, once per scene, I may rewind time to re-roll someone's 6 or less using a new stat.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I also have a battered pocket watch and a bulletproof great coat. It's pretty great.
Awesome. It's very great.
The coat is dope.
And then my first move is shared interests. I love participating in others' hobbies. When I join or mimic an enthusiast, I get to choose one. I master a new skill with uncanny speed, or I get invited to study under them. But I might also annoy them at the intrusion or take someone else's spot, which might have consequences.
I like it.
I'm just really nosy, and it's like, hey, what you doing there? Oh, I can do that, I bet.
I love that you can just master a new skill. Just suddenly you're good at something.
I'm pretty sure my future self knows how to do this, so I can do it now.
I can do it now. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And last but not least, we're going to, I think, explain why Mike said his character might just be carrying Matthew's character around.
That was a little Easter egg for you.
Because Matthew is now going to explain his character here.
I'm Slith. I'm just going to say Slith.
I like it.
Let's go with Slith.
I like it.
Nice. Nice.
I'm an axe. Life. You are a sculptor. Now you're a ghost that inhabits an axe, charming any who wield it. There's a whole thing about that, but we've decided that the person who's going to wield it, because my character was a sculptor, is I've sculpted a oversized dash hound that is going to be out of ATMA, which is going to be carrying me in its mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have the ability, when I strike the ground, I can, on a +7, make a big towering statue of some description.
So cool.
Yeah. So, and my first move is Trust in Absence. So I can carve any away stone to reveal forms of lifelike and heartbreaking beauty. When you refine one of your statues, choose one. It animates to wield you. So I could choose a big old massive monster man to smash me into a small robot. If it can bring the bystander to tears, or it is possessed, or it itself gets possessed by a stray ghost of some description. So my backstory is that I was a sculptor. I used to work with ATMA itself. That was what I was trying to do. And on the day I was going to show off my greatest statues, I was killed by someone wielding this axe, and I don't know why, and or who did it. But I'm now in the axe, and I like to think that me and John were together because obviously I'm being carried around by this dog.
And I'm good with that. I'm
Johnny
like, hey.
Johnny was just like, you're a dog with an axe in your hand. Want to join a pack? And I was like, yeah, let's join forces. Yeah. Let's join together and hang out.
100%. That is what's going on. I was playing with my sibling and they went, floating through the forest. I go out and there's a dog just absolutely ravaging this axe, swinging it around for all its might. And I was like, that dog's got gusto. That's pretty cool. I hung out with the dog for like 3 weeks and all of a sudden the axe spoke and I crapped my pants. And then now we're fast friends. I love that idea. We've been hanging out. And again, that Shea just drops into the middle of our day.
I slam into you. And I definitely was not in that prison moon.
The first thing you said, like, not a prisoner.
Definitely not a prisoner. Also, we need to stop this. What's going on?
So yeah, in the middle of this pasture, thank you for that resub, Arwelia. In the middle of this pasture, where you have been watching, Ursulif and John, you've been watching the fruiting polyworms. So I've spent some tokens. I've used some tokens to bring in a prop and an extra, which is like an NPC, into our first scene, just to populate it with a few more things. So we've got just these alien viruses turned into local fungus. It's a terrifying parasite. The polyworm's host mutates and mummifies and enters a feral stage where they sprout fungal blooms to corrupt others, right? So it's totally fine. So these are here. You've just been watching them fruit because whatever. In somewhere in the distance.
Word.
Yeah.
They've just been fruiting.
I don't like that. It makes me feel, yeah.
And Singer crashes through. You have this this interaction.
So I am the crashed astronaut? Is that what's going on?
You do not need to be the crash. You are not the crash astronaut. So that is an extra that we'll say is kind of off in the distance for the moment. You see like someone else perhaps at the same time as Singer crashes in. Off in the distance, there's another crash. But that's kind of far away for you to see right now. But it does kind of look like a spaceman, perhaps, off in the distance. But you are in... Did I hit share on this or not? I don't know. Let me share the Regolith pasture for you. So we are here.
I see.
We'll say it's morning. So the snow melt has not rushed down the slope at noon yet. That will be our ticking clock here, perhaps. So while you're here, you might learn that adepts train atop windswept ridges, or that a local mogul is blasting a tunnel site, or that secrets are buried in Regolith. We don't know yet. We're going to see what happens. These are just guides for us. But as players, we can choose what goal you want to reach to be able to get to the next scene. So we can either safeguard a valuable sculpture from vandals, or chase pests and predators out of the fields. What would you like to work toward? And we do choose.
We've got a sculptor freaking ghost here.
But also,
I might understand.
Most of us are dogs.
That's true. I mean, part of me wants to chase the pests and predators just to simply they're gross. I don't like them
there are around. These horrible cordyceps.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, let's chase the pests and predators out.
Chase the pests and predators out.
Hold on. So as we choose our goal here, which I think makes sense since the fruiting polyworms were randomly chosen to be our prop here. So our ultimate goal, and if you achieve it, we will move on to the next scene, is to chase pests and predators out of the fields, perhaps these fruiting polyworms. Before we do that, I need to acknowledge Tantarlis. Thank you so much for that donation. $105.
Oh my gosh.
So everyone has now $30 each for all of us to hang out with. So thank you so much. That's
everyone's getting milkshakes.
Wow. We're getting
so
much.
Thank you. That is incredibly generous.
Wow. Yeah. Hi, everyone.
So much eggnog. The donuts we're having, the ice cream. we can get some like produce, I guess, while we're Reading Terminal Market.
Yeah.
I'm really thinking things that are there, really. Thank you so much. That's incredible. Thank you.
Matthew, you should look at Tantarlus's message as well. Thank you, Tan. That's incredibly kind. All right, so here we are. Let's actually get into this first scene.
Thank you very much, Tantarus. I've just seen that. That's very kind. Thank you very much.
All right, so back to Singer being like, oh, okay, suddenly coming out of a rift and saying, we have to stop this, as
I like that idea. So
those are little polyworms fruiting.
But you got to imagine that you just bust through this rift, but what you found is just me, and if I can speak for Johnny as well, we've just been just laid back with kind of like our legs crossed and just in soaking up the sun. You know, I can imagine Johnny might be flicking a coin or doing something rad, and we're just enjoying the sunny day and just hanging out. We really, as far as I'm concerned, we're just hanging out, enjoying the scene, and I'm just kind of like saying, man, those weird animals are gross.
I just don't understand why they call that fruiting. I don't want to eat that. We need a different term.
It's just
it's slammed.
It's just horrible. And then
I bodily like crash into you. We've got to stop it. We've got to stop it. It starts with them. You're a strong man. Take care of it.
All right. I just immediately stand up and say, like, where are they gonna go? Who's gonna get it? Who wants this right here? And I immediately just channel my feral spirit. You hit me on an instinctual level.
Yeah.
I just like, let's go. And I just I think I'm going to well, I guess I should say I'm going to attempt to summon my ghost wolf sibling, because I'm like, I don't trust these pests anyway. We're gonna play a game called Get 'em, and that's where they go get 'em. So I'm gonna roll for this.
Whilst it's happening, my ghost, like the statue, like the sculpture that I inhabit, this the sculpture that carries me, this dog, is still kind of just sleeping, kind of like scratching its ear. But
completely unconcerned.
I'm not concerned at all. But my axe form starts to floats over and into the dog's mouth.
I definitely notice that and go, ugh.
Okay, so I'm gonna channel my Pharaoh Spirit. The roll plus hasty. My hasty is plus 0, so it's a straight up roll. And
in general, everyone, when you're rolling a hasty, so we have different guidelines, especially when we're doing more generic moves, ones that are not listed on cards. We can decide what it would be. But for this, hasty is something you would use if you need speed. It's a reaction. You're being impulsive. It's used to get there first, maybe even when you shouldn't. So this does feel very impulsive. You have hastily, impulsively.
I have asked 0 questions. I'm just a down some bitch, man. You know. All right, let's roll this out.
Let's roll and see, and we should see on our screen here the results of Mike's roll.
Let me know if it comes through. Stat bonus. It's hasty. So then, it's a failure. Oh, it's a 6.
Oh, y'all can't see it. Hold on, let me adjust my window because
it's come up at the very bottom.
Can't see it.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
Okay, hold on. Stand by, because I can do a thing here.
Perhaps I'm a little too hasty in my. If I'm honest, while we were relaxed and hanging out, I was half asleep, and so I'm just like freaked out.
Well, not to speak for Shea, but
so I could have, y'all. I just missed it. I could have actually spent a token to let you. To let you succeed. So unless you would, I have spent one. If you would like to succeed, or depending on what Matthew and Shea were about to do, you do what you were about to do, and if you would like to turn that into a success, great. I've spent a token, but if not, then that's okay.
It just makes sense in the character that, like, so you rush off and then immediately just get swarmed by these parasites. And I go, no, I pull out my pocket watch, I rewind the dial.
Yeah.
Rewind the dial, and I'm back to, here's like, Okay, you're about to go and just charge in. That's all well and good. But here's the thing. You have big muscles. Use those. So now you get to re-roll using a different stat.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna roll using tough. You're like, you know what? You're right. I should just use these here guns to get the work done. So I'm gonna roll. Thank you for that. You rolled Mr. Yes, I'll just we're re-rolling because we're doing timey-wimey stuff.
And as I do that, my pocket watch starts sparking. Like this is a once per scene ability.
Let's see.
So.
Would it be fun to see if there's any sort of it starts sparking. I kind of feel like we should see if you
have a consequence.
Just take any like. Does it burn you at all?
Singes at the least.
Let's roll.
I would say my left hand is like a little charred compared to my right.
For funsies, just cause. Why don't you give me a test with your plus tough? Because that's for physical and mental resolve. Do you use to power through or overwhelm what's in your way? How well in this moment do you power through the sparks and the burning that this gives you?
Sure thing. My tough is at a -1. So let's.
You could also, if you'd rather. Oh, hey. Okay.
I got a success.
You rolled an 8. Now, because it's less than a crit, like a 10. I get a token for that, but we will say you do it. You all see Singer kind of, but then like, and you can't tell, like maybe he actually kind of likes the pain of it. You're not sure. Like it's kind of like okay, but you do okay. You aren't going to take any harm from it. So.
And I see you do that, and I'm like, this guy's tough. If he's going to be this tough, I've got to be even tougher, and that's what has inspired me in my rolling with my tough quality. So let's see if we can get somewhere with this.
We all know it's going to fail. Oh no, I was like, I'm so sure.
Barely, I needed it. Barely. So so that does come with a possible consequence, GM, if you want. So I've summoned Eerie, my ghost wolf sibling.
Great. I think we will hold off on any consequences right now since we're just at the beginning. So you have summoned your wolf spirit, and while all of this is happening, Airsliff?
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Snoozing. Snoozing still. Basically snoozing. I scratched for a little bit because I'm a dog as well as an axe kind of thing, which is difficult to describe actually in the form of roleplay now if you think about it. My dog, the dog that I inhabit, the dog that is holding me is scratching and just kind of like sniffing and just having a nice time, growling every now and again when it sees one of these little horrible monster type thing has come a bit too close. And I guess I will be asking to this new person that sits like, who are you? What's happening? I was just snoozing along on a nice day before the snow melts. And what's going on there? Slow down a bit, partner.
Does the dog have you in its mouth when it's Okay,
so,
I address the dog.
This dog. But the axes. I have a question actually, Matthew. When you talk, is it just like a voice coming from the axe? Is it in people's brains? Do you have a mouth that moves?
It's a voice that emanates from the axe.
Okay.
Just that's all.
Cool.
Great.
Cool.
So I look at you and go, a talking dog. Fascinating.
Yep, that's me, a talking dog.
Yes. I've
The dog goes like this.
Yeah.
I've just seen the consequences of our actions should we fail, and it is not to be countenanced. No, we must succeed in this. And it starts with polyworms. They spread everywhere if they are left unchecked. You seem well capable. You're holding an axe at least. So if you could go in there and help about it. Yes. I'll stay back here and lead from behind.
I just don't feel like they're not doing much. They're not like they're just
they're not doing much now, but let them spread, and it will cover the entire pasture. They'll cover the entire country if we let it.
And actually, as this is being said, little polymorph spores are starting to like fruit and open and kind of release into the air.
The dog kind of does like those stretches that a dog does when they get up and they do like downward dog and all that other stuff, and it's just a stretch. And he picks the axe back up, and I'll say something like, "Oh, okay, let's deal with these. They are gross, but I'm not scared of them really because I'm probably immune to anything that they can do to me." Essentially, because I'm not like a living creature. None of me is a living creature.
Right? Definitely.
Right. You can definitely take harm, but probably a different kind of way.
I'm not going to get like possessed by this. I'm not going to get like a plant growing out of my brain or anything like that.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm going to.
All right. So you have summoned your wolf friend. So what are you doing now? I think everyone are we feeling sufficiently convinced as the polymorphs are? Polyworms.
I saw this man poof out of a cloud, save me by rewinding time, infusing me with toughness. You're my leader now. I've got no questions. These polyworms, we are already grossed out by them. They now seem to be getting more active and agitated. And so I look down at Eerie. I say, go get him. And it's like, go get one for me. And see Eerie's going to go charge at one and try to rip it apart and see what the hell happens. How big? I mean, they look like they're kind of like dog size as well, right? Yeah, they're pretty large.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, probably about dog sized here.
Seems like a good match for Eerie. So Eerie's crafty and stuff, and I know what they can do. So I do like kind of like a whistle thing, and then that just sets them right off to go and deal with whatever one is nearest to us. That's kind of getting the most active, the most awake one, I'll say.
And while that's happening, the dog that's holding the axe will dissolve into sand, and out of that sand will be a large almost like a Roman gladiator looking kind of like person, and the dog. I will take as it's formed. The axe is still in its mouth, and he'll take the axe out of its mouth and then start wielding it in its hand.
And it still have the head of.
It still had the head of a dog, yes.
Quite an impressive specimen.
I'm like, okay, let's go sort these things out. Let's going to do this.
Yeah, I love the idea the singer still has no idea that the axe is the thing.
Oh, I don't think I'll ever find out.
No.
We're not going to break it to you. We're like, it's easier this way. It's easier.
Yeah.
Also, I don't let on because the axe is what's vulnerable, right? So if I allow people to believe that the inanimate statue that wields the axe is the actual thing, it kind of provides me with protection, right?
I mean, you took a long time to reveal to me, even though we were travel companions and cruising around before I was let in on the
just a dog with an axe who you thought was rad.
Dog with an axe. I have 0 questions. I'm ready to act. So Paula, so Eerie getting over to one of these polyworms, what kind of fight are they putting up? Is it
so as polyworms fruit and sprout and release spores, this card describes them. Yes, I know. It describes them as going into a feral rage as they sprout these fungal blooms. So as Eerie, is that do I have that correct? As Eerie bounds over ready to go, this polymorph, why do I keep saying polymorph? This polyworm it's approaching also goes and begins to like foam, kind of like fungus at the mouth. Sorry, that's so gross.
I like
it. And like, I'll be honest.
I know. This is why I'm apologizing. I'm like, why do I get gross every time I play a game with y'all?
We've had some spooky stuff with Paula for sure in the past.
Sorry. It's just a feral rage. So and its little like hackles, and you can see it's got little like teeth, and it's ready to, you know. So what does Eerie do?
I think Eerie sees that, is used to facing down various creatures, both in like fun, like we've grew up wrestling together and stuff, and also getting into real scrapes and everything. So I think Eerie is very adept at like charging in, getting them to kind of want to meet power with power, and then using speed and agility to try to kind of dodge and get around to its flank. So, kind of get to commit to like a forward attack and then do that deke and go for the flank. So that's what we're going to go for.
Okay, so let's see. I think that is a sly test, don't you? Deviousness and unpredictability. So why don't you give me a sly test, and let's see if Eerie is successful with trying to do a bit of a fake out and then an attack around the butt.
All right. So we use my sly, which is a -1 for John, because John's, I'm a rough and tumble kind of guy. So let's see what we do here. So let me boom, apply that.
Yeah.
Just success.
Okay,
just
a success.
Just barely. Yeah.
So I think what this results in is you take a Eerie comes around and like bites at this fruiting polymorph, rendering it just like, you'll just need to do one little like and it's kind of poofs into a cloud of dust. Unfortunately, this does shed a fog of prismatic spores in the process. And because of your spiritual connection to Eerie, as Eerie breathes in these spores, you actually feel the effect. And I am going to spend a token to deal a harm to you as a result. So I
hadn't considered that. I'm just like, got like on my knees, like, all right. So I didn't think that through. Sorry, y'all.
So I believe you can mark. Oh, here we go. Maybe we do it like this. So -1 to your health there, and cool. John Dollar suffered harm. Can you describe? Because you also get this like kind of the taste. Like if you put. You know how if you put garlic between your toes, you can taste it in your mouth? I say that like it's a thing everyone has experienced. I've never experienced it, but I've read it on the internet.
I have never heard that.
Really?
I've heard something.
Not something I've
so because your feet are super absorbent, so if you put garlic between your toes, you'll be able to taste it in your mouth. So it's that kind of a thing. You're tasting how bad this thing tastes. Can you describe for us the taste that you're getting spiritually sent to you from Eerie of these polyworms?
It is like the worst atomic warhead he ever had. Like, it is acrid. It is just kind of smoky, just like gunpowder almost, like just like really sharp and sulfuric, like just sulfurous and stuff, just very and it kind of just like layers in. So like I again feel like as if I just breathed it in, so I'm just kind of like it's horrible, and it's just kind of thick and sour and smoky, just gross. Not ideal.
So one of these is taken out, and as this happens, you notice there are 4 more actively spreading polyworms that you believe will need to be dealt with. And also you can see that other figure that crashed at the same time Singer did off in the distance is starting to move towards you, looking kind of frantic but unsteady. It's still very much in the distance, but you can see it is beginning to close that gap. So what would you like to do, Air Sliff?
Originally, I was gonna start attack these as well, but I feel like because there's 4 of them, what I'd like to do is the gladiator that is holding me right now, the axe, is instead going to kind of like put me into its left hand, and then reach up with its right hand, and then smash its hand onto the ground, and just like Toph from Avatar, a giant pillar of rock, which is where I'm hoping all 4 of these are standing on, is going to shoot out of the ground, and I want to just fling these things
them out of
like
existence.
2 football fields away, essentially.
Okay.
So I'd like. So that's my once a turn ability. If you when you strike the ground, roll tough. The earth rises into a towering statue.
All right, on a 7+. So give us a roll plus tough, and on a 7+, this will work. And if you can get a 10 or higher, you will have dealt with all of the polymorphs.
Let's go.
Ooh,
9.
Oh, a 9 is so close. So just as Matthew described, this rock protrudes from the earth, and 3 of the 4 polyworms are caught in it, fling off and burst into their poofs. Luckily, just far enough away that none of you are taking in any of their spores, but you have 1 polyworm left, and you notice again that this crashed. You can tell now as he's gotten closer, Astronaut is closing the distance even more. You can start to make out the fact that he is in kind of a damaged, smoking, sparking spacesuit as he comes closer to you, but still a ways away. So yes.
Self will, once they've done that, we'll look back and say to Singer, "Is this guy with you at all?"
Yeah, friend of yours?
1 moment. And I'm going to cover my right eye and look at the astronaut and peer into the future to see what this astronaut's intentions are.
Oh, we're such a team.
I love
so
these characters.
smart.
Do you have to do a check, or does that just happen,
It
Shea?
just happens. When I close one
Yeah.
eye, I see into this area's past or future and spy something useful.
Okay, so you peer, you squint one eye, and the you almost get like kind of a rushing forward of tunnel vision on the sides. Kind of feels like, in Star Trek or Star Wars when they jump to like warp drive, the way the stars kind of streak. It kind of feels
Never
like
seen
that. As you tunnel vision onto the face of this astronaut, and you get a vision of the future of the astronaut getting right up to you, collapsing on their knees and saying, "It's worse than we ever could have imagined. Please, we have to stop this. Anomalies everywhere. You must go to the prison. That's where I think it's all started. Please." And then dying at your feet. That is the vision of the future that you see.
Crazy.
He's not with me. Sort of. But I want to use the exact position that he is going to collapse, and I want to lure the polyworm into that position. So I want to run up close to it, get it to like follow me, and then I'm running over and I want to maneuver it to where this thing's going to fall on it, and hopefully with the weight of all its instruments just crush the polyworm.
Okay. All right. So I think, let's see, that is
Maybe hasty?
Are you trying to do it quickly? Or
Well, yes.
are you trying
I
to do
need to-
it deviously, or are you trying to do it with like your intelligence using bright? You can argue to me whatever you want to test it with, and we'll see what you think.
That's so funny.
I think this is pretty impulsive, and I need to get somewhere at a very specific time.
Okay.
So this feels like hasty to me.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Is that just because hasty is your best skill? Oh, look at that! It is. Yeah, we'll let you. You can use hasty.
Yeah, I'm being hasty, I think.
I think you should also roll for performance here, because this is
Roll for
important.
performance.
You gotta sell it.
Oh, that was the thing that I used to make everyone do. It's like, you can do it, but you have to roll for performance.
Oh no! Can you
Well, it
rewind
doesn't
all the
matter.
time?
Double 1. That's
Wow,
bad.
that's a fail.
That's rough.
Now, I can let you succeed and earn more tokens. I have an embarrassment of riches and
So
tokens.
many.
I meant to be spending more of them, but I think I will
I think I'm due a comeuppance.
I think that you can achieve this, but there will be a consequence to it.
Is that a choice, or are you just telling me?
Well, okay. Would you like this to succeed with a consequence, or would you like to fail at this and come up with a different plan?
I mean, I'm curious what happens if I just beef it. So I think I'm running and I'm going to try and get this guy's attention and then do a quick turnaround, and I don't manage the turnaround, and I just trip and fall, and this thing is directly above my face.
Great.
I think what had happened was that Eerie got excited by your seemingly playful nature. You know, maybe you're doing like a come on, and he's like, all right.
We running? Let's run.
It trips you up and just gets into the mix, and then goes like, sorry about that.
The dachshund also, Matthew's dachshund is also like. There's just dog chaos.
Like my gladiator that's holding me right now, it's like it's kind of like sprouts a tail kind of thing, and the tail starts wagging.
So you all watch as Singer face plants basically right in front of one of these polyworms who is about to release. You can tell release its toxins. You need to do something. Airsliff or John Dollar to stop Singer from taking harm, and you need to do it very quickly. And I'm going to up the stakes. I'm going to spend 2 tokens to justify. I am going to deal 2 harm. Sorry, I was interacting with the interface here. 2 harm of his 3 to Singer if you are not able to successfully save him somehow from this situation. And I've spent 2 tokens to justify that. Right. So what will you do? The crashed astronaut is even closer.
I will get my gladiator that's holding me will throw me. And I'm hoping to, because I'm an axe that's about 3.5 foot long, maybe. I'm hoping to.
You're the size of a halfling, basically.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the gladiator will be able to fall onto me, and I will be so it will wedge on top of me in the ground, like that, so that Singer's got space so that it doesn't get crushed underneath. So it kind of topples onto the axe instead.
Oh, for when the astronaut comes?
When the astronaut drops down. Is that what's happening?
Well, that is part of it. So the astronaut is running to the spot, and yes, if he gets there, he will collapse there. You will protect him from that. But now we have this polyworm as well that is about to release poison spores. No, this is 2 things, and that's where the 2 harm was going to come from. You're absolutely correct.
Well, I can't solve both problems.
That's right, but you have now. But we should test something. So you've been thrown. So you should probably test
Tough.
Barrage, which would be calm or sly because it's a throw. When you shoot a distant foe.
We'll do sly.
And we'll see how well this works, and then we'll let John Dollar tell us what he does.
Success!
Success! All right, we will say that exactly how Matthew described it. The gladiator throws the axe over itself. Bing! You embed right into the earth with the handle up, yes, to catch the astronaut as he's almost there, stumbling, about to fall onto this prop to keep from crushing Singer. John Dollar, what are you doing to stop Singer from getting...
I'm also imagining the blade just hits right next to my head.
Yeah, it's right close to you, right?
There's actually just a bit of one strand of hair that got sliced in half, is it?
Oh man. All right, I think I want to. So I've just kind of got my breath back. Getting my senses back around us. What's going on around us? I think with the connection that I've had with Eerie, it makes me more, aware of my senses, and everything slows down a little bit. And so I want to kind of take a look at the situation. We've got, Ursula holding up this astronaut. Singer's kind of down for the count, this polyworm closing in, and try to basically figure out a way, a path, if there is one, to kind of like swoop in and just kick this thing, hopefully over into the ravine so that the snow melt will just like wash it away, or at least give us enough time to get the heck out of there. Great. So can I see, like, looking through, I was like, okay, if I go through here and I do a jump off this and I come to the left, I can just kind of boot this thing, and I'm like starting to move as I kind of put this together. So that's what my kind of thought is, just some sort of clever way to not just like meet it with force necessarily, but just try to redirect and just get it tumbling down a hill or something. Yeah,
I think that you are. Would you say that you're following the signs to get a proper path to to this thing?
Yeah, I would say that.
That's what I was getting at. Is I'm kind of like reading the green, as it were, like the terrain and stuff, and like, okay, rocky, and just sort of like calculating, so I'm finding my hidden trail to success against this thing. So that's what I kind of want to roll for. All right, then.
So, well, roll with a plus tough, and then on a 7+, you will succeed at finding this hidden trail that will
punt this thing.
Let you punt this into obscurity.
That happened. Y'all, it's gonna be bad. Ooh, a 9. Okay, we'll take it. So not quite the 10, but I feel like that would make me fairly successful at, maybe I graze Singer with my kick a little bit. I don't know, but
well, I think what about as you kick this thing, it goes out of the way, and as this happens, you do get a weird little tingling in your foot. Like something kind of like crawling up your ankle.
Okay.
And I will
shake my boot a little.
Spin for that. And then right as this happens, the astronaut stumbles. He says, "We have to stop it. It's worse than you could imagine. Then it's all something to do with the prison."
The prison of loot. Yeah, we know.
And then he falls dead. Just like an inch off of Singer's prone body, hitting the handle of Airsliff, and then slumping off to the side, dead.
All right.
I get up, I look over at the gladiator and go, "Oh, thank you for that. A little close with this one." I try and lift the axe I lift Ursula to bring it back to you, and I think it's just too heavy, and I'm like, you can get that.
And as you do that, the gladiator will just disintegrate into sand and reappear, and reappear underneath the axe, and like will pick the axe up and grow up again into a gladiator, like holding the axe, like right where you are, essentially.
Well, I'm certainly glad to have stumbled onto you, fine folks. I think we have a chance at this. But next, we have to go to the prison.
What's your name again?
Oh, sorry. This is where I tell you. Singer.
This is where I tell you. Yeah. Great. And that takes us, you have achieved your goal, I think, for scene 1. You have cleared the pests from the area. You've got information from our astronaut. You have formed a unbreakable bond among the three of you, I would say, now that you know each other's names. And you now make your way to the prison of Lutu. The cracked moon where the prison is, that is like kind of crashed into. So on the opposite side of where this field is that you've been, you can see the crashed moon that has this prison on it. And you make your way over there. Lutu's prison is in shambles. A few cell blocks and offices are under Warden's Kaj and Arita's control. Underneath it, a void rift grows, caused from the crash. Convicts hide within to elude bounty hunters. Memories leak from the walls to attract demons and erode sanity. So, we have a goal here. You need to get through this scene, either recapture an escaped prisoner to claim a reward, or harvest a rare resource by venturing into the rift. What do we feel like fits kind of what we want to do here.
I mean, I know what I'm leaning towards.
Yeah, Mr. Rift Man.
Venture into the rift.
You're attracted
Let's rift.
to it.
Let's go. Let's go to the rift.
You're like a moth to flame, man. Yeah. We gotta do. We gotta.
All right.
I imagine on this whole walk, it's just been John asking, and how did you get here again? You know, like I just, despite this world, I don't have a great sense of like the rifts and things going on. I'm in touch with the ghost world. I'm all good there, but this I'm like, now say it again. You came here from.
I think every time you ask, I get annoyed and go, I already told you, and I haven't already told you.
Yeah.
All right, so our goal will be to come up with some reason why you need to go into the rift. To harvest a rare resource. I have thoughts, but we'll see how they play out. And that will be the goal to get to the next scene. So you make your way to this prison. Let me populate us here with...
While you do that, I'm just going to take a quick break to get a drink and use the restroom.
Go for it. I will. Let's see. How do I do this? Spin tokens. Okay, so we want to bring at least one extra in. So I'm going to do this randomly. This is great. We'll bring in this Esper Monk. And it's going to cost me 1 token to do. So perfect. We'll play it. And then I'm also going to play a prop just because it's nice to have something there to kind of populate the scene with something. We can also, whenever I want, I can play a twist, which is just some sort of complication, and that will cost me tokens as well. But we'll see if we need that. So
that's good. I'm using the restroom real quick as well while you set things. Then we can maybe talk moves once we get back.
Yeah. All right, now that they're gone.
We can plan. Ooh, Zugaluger says, if you're in touch with the ghost world, can you harvest some of the leaking memories? That sounds very interesting.
Yeah. Let's see.
While we're here, I'll also say again, thank you to Meramorph Games for sponsoring this stream. And if you would like to check this game out for yourself, you can click that link. Sasqueen says, okay, my Zoom meeting is done. You have my full attention. Can you start over? Sure. We will do that. We'll just start from the beginning.
I will say, I have, this is the first time I've played this. All of them have experience with this. It's the first time I played it. I'm really enjoying this.
It's really fun, yeah.
Yeah, it's giving you just enough to work with to like fill in the gaps yourself and not feel, overwhelmed with having to come up with everything.
Yeah.
So it's a good balance there, I think.
It's also nice as the GM, like I don't have to, I can help because I've got the outside view. I can help kind of guide some things, but I don't have to come up with everything, right? Like you came up with your consequence to why your thing failed. You're like, oh, this is what happened. It's so nice to have a game where like it is meant to be collaborative in that way, where you can say, okay, you failed this. How did you fail? What happened? And let, everyone feel like they've got a bit of say in what's going on.
I have to imagine this is kind of freeing for the GM as well, like knowing that you don't have to take care of everything like that, but also that you don't have to prepare anything really. Yeah. You just randomly draw the stuff and make it work.
And we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure out how it goes. And you can always, everyone, if you draw a card and you're like, I can't figure out how to make this work, I don't think this is appropriate, I don't like this card, they'd say you have every ability to go, no, discard it and pull another one, or actually literally look through and pick the one that you specifically want. You are free to do all of those things. I'll also say, Raven, thank you for gifting those 10 subs. If you were gifted a sub just now, pop in chat and say thank you. Thorax, thank you for using your Prime to subscribe. Pantaloni, thank you for your sub. Paladin Panda, thank you for following. Arwilia, thank you for your sub. Ross Nelson, I think I got you already, but thank you for your sub.
I should leave more often.
So yeah, I'm actually going to look at what I've pulled out a fold space bag. Oh my gosh. It's a gateway that links to a pocket dimension. It's basically a bag of holding.
It's a bag of holding, essentially, right?
That's cool. Interesting. Okay. And we've also pulled an Esper Monk.
Worm fruit ain't bad. I tell you.
when they extract esper, stray ideas stuck in objects, and store them in lamps to replay and study the past. They were interesting. They can recite poems carved into their masks.
Lengthy rhyming poems.
Interesting.
That's interesting, Paula.
They can evoke horror from a relic of war. Okay. Well, that's very interesting. We'll see how those get integrated in. So you all get access to your next move, so you can flip your second card over. If you want, we can just take a look at it, and when you want to use it, if you want to use it, you can just say it, because I think we should roll into whatever the next scene is, if y'all are ready.
Hit it.
So you approach the outskirts of this prison. You see underneath the ruins the void rift with espers, kind of green smoky wisps kind of rising from it. And you can also see there, not really paying attention to you at the moment, a monk, with his little a fishbowl kind of head, his glowing runes on his robes as he kind of pulls bits of the esper and puts them into kind of a crystal that they hold, and goes about just grabbing different ones, sucking them into this crystal. And that's what you see as you approach. What do you want to do here? How would we like to proceed?
I feel like I wouldn't have a ton of experience with like what this kind of thing is, like what espers, how they function and stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think I'm just going to take it in for a minute and try to like kind of make sense of it personally. I don't know if either of y'all would have, more light to shed on it, and I could be like, I'm just like,
I think while you're kind of like doing that, I'm back in dog form now, and just kind of like looking up to Singer and saying, what are we doing? What's happening? Why are we do? What's going? Why are we? The big astronaut guy, what was happening with that? And
I've told you 100 times now. we must go to the prison. The next step, the next catastrophe is centered there. I believe it has something to do with a rift that's forming inside of the prison as it's cracking apart, as you can see. And I sort of point out, and I imagine there's like massive cracks, mainly from the crash of it through. So you can see the cracks are growing wider. That's not just a result of gravity and the impact. There's a rift in there.
Something about gravy is happening? What's going on now with that?
I don't know why I expected a dog to understand this.
And as you get closer, you actually see in some of you can kind of peek through the ruins of this prison and see like some of the like busted open cells and things like that in the rubble, and you see what looks like memories kind of playing, almost like they're on a projector that plays and then like backs up and then plays again. And you think actually, as you look at one, that for a moment, one of these memories almost looks like it becomes corporeal for a moment before it flickers back into projector-like status, perhaps some effect of these anomalies that have caused Singer to travel through this temporal rift.
So we're having like there's a big hole, and we gotta. What's happening?
So there's like the big rift underneath where you've got like kind of wispy magical things and someone collecting them. And sorry, are you asking the GM for clarification?
I was kind of no, I was asking. I was asking Shea.
Okay, sorry. Okay, no. I was afraid I hadn't. Okay, good. Yeah. Never mind. I'll hush.
So once again, lean and go. Is that little fella a friend of yours, or what? Is that how you got? Are you a mist man? Like how? Talk to him. Sounds like your kind of people. I mean, you look pretty solid to me. I mean, not solid like I am, John Dollar over here, but like you're. I think
you're
you're
slapping
real.
him on the back really like much harder than you should be.
That's amazing. How do they make that so lifelike?
How are you so solid?
Teal's another harm.
You've run into essentially Singer's run into this two dumbest people in the world.
Listen, I tried to solve this all using intelligence alone. I needed muscle.
I can muscle up that monk. I'll roll him up into a little bowling ball and set him down the way.
I don't recall the monk from the last time I was here. I don't believe that. I think that he would have been scared off by the polyworms. So he's new to me. Perhaps has some skills. Perhaps could
get us in. Talk to him. Do you think he's like? Is it like a silent type or like?
I suppose let's find out. I walk up to the monk and go, "Hello, sir," or "Madam." "Hello, person." They
bow to you.
I bow back exactly the same way. I must say, what you are doing is fascinating. I would love to learn exactly how that works. Please describe it in detail.
Are you doing your
I'm doing my shared interests.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So you they are slightly annoyed. I will spend a token. They are slightly annoyed at the intrusion, but you will learn everything about what is happening as this monk speaks to you through. It's like very echoey, the voice that comes out of this like glass bowl that is their head. So it says, "Well, I am collecting the spirits of the convicts who died in the crash here. You see, when you collect the esper and you put it into the crystal." So he begins to explain to you in detail how the spirit is trapped in the crystals, and the exact methods for extracting them, sending them back out if he needs to. Because balance is the important thing, and you need to have access to the bad things for places where things are too good. You need to reintroduce some bad. And then he bows again.
I look over to John and say, "This guy's really boring."
Singer's fascinated, is perfectly keyed into this.
And now, and also Singer, you know that if you were to have one of these crystals that the monk has, you yourself would be able to collect espers inside of it and then make use of them should you wish. Now, if you wonder
where we can get one of these crystals. From a rift of some description, possibly.
Perhaps. I think before that, I would go, I would love to try this. Do you happen to have an extra one of those? I'd point to the crystal.
These are the holy tools of the Esper. Lutu grants us the power. You cannot have one unless you have taken the holy rites of monkhood. So no. And then he begins to, if you'll excuse me.
Okay, says, "So that's a no from me, dog."
That's a no from me, dog. And he begins to, I don't know why I've made everyone a man. The patriarchy, probably. He begins to move away from you, trying to and holds his crystal just a little tighter. He looks at you with suspicion now.
Well, he's a monk, isn't he?
He's a monk.
Which you'd think would be a man, right? A monk?
Oh, as opposed to, sure, yes, as opposed to like
That's fair.
Nun.
Sister.
Sister,
you know.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yes, thank you. There you go.
It's a question. We have this fold space bag, right? Or is this something that's just in the environment that we have not acquired?
Correct. This is
it's
a prop.
Folded space bag, actually.
Thanks to Folded Space for not
together the bag.
It's made from foam core.
That's sponsored by Fold Space.
Yeah. How? Okay. You know what? What if, you see actually the Esper monk, you now notice, John Dollar, is pulling along with him a bag that seems to be filled with these crystals, and you don't know how that bag could possibly be holding so many, because he just keeps pulling them out, putting them in, pulling them out, putting them in. You're like, that bag is like, it should only hold like 2 of those, but I swear he's pulled like 5 or 6 out, and he's just kind of dragging it along behind him.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, we need to get that man's rucksack. We gotta get one of them crystals out of that. Dude, we can like sneak one out. It seems like he's got plenty. He won't miss one.
I mean, I happen to agree. He does seem to have some sort of religious significance attached to them, but I don't. So
it'll be fine.
But I don't.
Gosh, I'm trying to think. So one thing is, I'm thinking I would love to try to like
kill this monk.
Pickpocket. No, just slyly get one out of the bag as they walk on and stuff. Like maybe pull a just casual guy walking by, looking for prisoners, kind of a ploy here. So I feel like that might be. I think I'm gonna coerce this. So
well, whilst this is happening, I can my dog form will run up to the monk and start being very dog-like and barking and playing and pretending that's like, hey, what's going on? You're cool. What's you know, kind of thing. So I could do a distract roll of some description.
Yeah.
If that will perhaps give a boost to John's pickpocket roll.
Okay. Yeah, why don't you see if your dog form with the axe in the mouth? Really,
well, it's a stick. You know, dogs love a stick.
Right. It can distract our monk here.
I think, though, because the axe is in the mouth, this would be a tough thing to do. So I'm going to roll with tough.
I don't think that's what tough means. That's a very...
It's bright, though. It's bright. It's a clever plan.
You know what? Yes, I will let you use bright.
Yay! Success.
Yay! Okay, but I can spend a token. I'm going to do my own little twist here without pulling something in. So I'm spending a token to give a consequence since this was less than 10. So you distract the monk. The monk goes, "Oh, Pup, what a good boy. Very good boy. Oh, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?" And as he gets down to like ruffle the ears of this ATMA dog, he like he's right on the edge of this rift collecting espers. And as John Dollar sneaking up to get this bag, to get a crystal out, the monk actually accidentally fumbles his bag, and it goes into the rift. It catches about, let's say 10 feet down on a little bit of rock that juts out. So it's hanging now 10 feet down. The monk goes, oh. Actually, you know what? Yes. No, I've said it. So it's happened now. He's realized what happened. So.
Sorry about that, man. You seem to have dropped your bag. What do we do? I can look for a path down. Do you think there's a path down to this, or is this like cliff face? Like, are we talking about steep terrain? Because I can give it a go. I'm gonna find that path down. It's pretty
steep. It's like Grand Canyon kind of. You know, I mean, like maybe you could scramble down, but I don't know. What were you gonna say, Matthew?
I can use my ability again. Pretty easy actually for this. Yeah. I could just make a path with
us.
Yeah.
Ooh, cut our way down, kind of. You're talking about?
Yeah, I could move the ground that John's on. Right.
With
when
your
you strike the ground, you may need to when you strike the ground, roll tough. The earth rises into a towering statue. But I could maybe I could get the earth from below where the bag is to rise up to where we are, essentially, for then John to be able to walk down.
Okay. Yeah. If you give that a try. Yeah.
See what we got.
Okay.
Effortless.
Ooh, baby.
Very good. So it's a success. So the earth rises up under the bag, kind of like here's the bag hanging, and the earth rises up and kind of pushes it up. So now it's at the level of it's at the level of the opening, and it's just like a small gap, like a little like hop over, basically.
No gap. No, there's no gap.
No gap.
Because the gap is adding in. That adds in so much danger. There's just a small
Yeah. Well, you didn't roll a 10, did you? I'll spend a token if that makes you.
No.
I'll tell the monk, hey, I got it. I'll get you back for it. No worries. Good deed daily, and I did it. And then Mario, I attempt to Mario over the gap to land at the foot of the bag, where I will hope to pocket one of the crystals on my way back. Is the gap like major? Because I feel like growing up was just so much time in the woods of jumping from a branch over here, leaping over rocks, and just kind of having that feel for the natural terrain. And
you're like Cowboy Tarzan, aren't you? That's essentially
yeah, that's exactly the vibe. So I feel like I would be able to kind of judge these things fairly well, but am I dealing with a really serious leap here? Do I need to, go extra? Because again, I could on the way kind of spot the path to success.
I think maybe if it was one of the other characters, if it was Singer trying to do it, it would probably be trickier. But you, with your background being raised by ghost wolves, basically, I think you can probably hop this and pick up the bag.
Sweet. So I'll do that. I'll pick up the bag and just turn around and be like, Monkey, I got it. And I'll hop back over.
Yes, please bring it to me. You don't understand. If this bag got in the wrong hands, the power of all the Esper and those crystals could be used to stop all of the anomalies. It would never do. We must keep things balanced with just enough chaos here.
So as I'm doing that, I sort of slyly pull a crystal. I look at Singer like, what? Like, one. Just you want to get one? Get one, yeah. To get two? If you can.
Just what? Yes,
and he's reaching his hand out.
Just the whole bag's worth of crystals would be so powerful. I can't let anyone have it.
And he reaches out and he gets his hand on the strap of the bag.
What's the magic word?
It's mine.
There you go. I do a nice bow.
So are you
hand it back, but
giving him back his bag? What are you? How are we handling?
I think so, but I've pocketed a crystal, and
I think you're gonna have to roll for the
I
don't think any GM in the world is gonna allow you to just
already happened. It's already happened.
I already let you jump for free.
Okay, I'll do this. Actually, let me do this. I just have the bag. I haven't pulled the crystal, but as I go to hand it over, I hang on to it for a second, and I want to use my my new move.
Dangerous
which
quarry.
Is a dangerous quarry. So basically, I can sense if I sense there's a monster nearby. I just want to see if I can get a sense of any sort of danger from either this bag, the monk, or whatever. Just as I'm handing it over.
I like the idea that Singer just starts glowing in your eyes. It's like,
can I do something like that as a way to kind of maybe sense get a vibe off of this person through maybe it's the connection with the Espers and stuff and the ghosts and things and that I grew up with.
Yeah, go for it.
I feel like a familiarity there. So this is going to be a roll plus bright.
See you, times Loris. Thank you so much.
So this will be a straight up roll for this. I'll just apply that. Won't do anything, but let's see. I got a 7, exactly.
Perfect success.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what happens. So you're trying to get a sense of.
Yeah, kind of. I'm using this more as like, so I can use this when I sense that there's a monster near. So you're talking about like power and stuff. So I'm just kind of using this as a way, like, can I get a feeling, something of the back of my hairs are raising up. So is there anything? I don't know if it's like unwarranted or not. So I'm using this as kind of an idea of like, can I sense anything from this bag? Anything that would clue us into we are in danger.
Right. So you get a sense that the monk himself is kind of a shady figure. So the whole thing of their religious order basically is balance, but balance in the sense of there should be equal amounts of good and evil kind of in the world. And perhaps he is collecting these spirits of convicts to save them up for when there's maybe an area with too much good, right? So he might be able to bust them out. But for now, he's going to keep them because the anomalies here are enough. Like, that's enough chaos here. But you also get the sense that the power that could be released from the destruction of all of the crystals in this bag maybe could help perhaps close up rifts or destroy something or counteract something. So that's kind of the sense you're getting from the bag in the Esper Monk.
Yeah. So I think here then, as I go to hand over the bag, I kind of pull back and be like, and we're kind of like, and it's like, I think Singer's really the expert on crystals at this point. And I maybe will kind of try to lean in to pull the bag back and toss it to Singer, and then we can get the heck out of here.
Give me I need I think a toughness check. I know you've just done 2 in a row. But let's just see. Yeah, I think we need to see if you can because the monk has their hand on this bag. Yeah. Can you get it off? And does anyone else feel like, oh, never mind, I was gonna say, do you need help? But you've critically succeeded. So yeah,
I was gonna put my dog was gonna start standing in front of this monk, and I was gonna start looking over to Singer. Let's push this guy into this hole.
Yeah, so the monk kind of, in the strength of this bag being pulled from him, kind of goes knocked back, right, teetering on the edge, and you know that you can either try and deal with him, you can try and move quickly on to your next thing, you can because I feel like you have ventured sort of into the rift to get this bag of relics, we'll say loosely, so that we can prep us to go into our final scene here with our stream time in mind. But
I feel real bad because it deals a harm. It's just like, I don't know if it just jacked this dude's shoulder. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Like, oh dang.
Oh yeah, so he's
bag. I'm like, yeah. You should have let it go. I don't know. I just can't help it.
Oh, it hurts my bag.
I'll feel bad. We gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah. So what do
I would say Singer's impulse is not necessarily to to kill this guy. It's not really. He's not especially violent. More, let other people do things. But in general, he solves his problems the same way he does every problem, is to travel through time. So I'm going to grab all of you. Now I have the bag. I'm going to grab all of you, and you see the world in front of you just sort of shatter just a little bit, and just sort of little
cracks form.
Little crack open, yeah. And what we're doing is we're going back in time at this location. So I'm using my ability past mistakes. I'm driven to make things right. When you travel back in time, I roll plus hasty. On 7+, I can choose one. I can go back further than an hour. I can remain longer than a minute, and I can change something major. And if everyone around you is dragged along, so I'm dragging all of you around with me, I get to choose 2 instead.
Cool.
But I have to roll first because on a 9 or less, some other things could happen.
Some bad things might happen. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to roll plus hasty, plus 2. Critical.
Oh! All right, I guess nothing bad happens. What are you doing?
So the shock of it makes the monk, who's now just stood there doing his own business, he falls into the rift. That's great for us.
Falls into the rift. No, tell my mom I love her.
I mean, maybe that happens. We're not around to see it.
You're not around to see it, so you would never know. You would never
know. So we're going to jump back further than an hour. So before the monk got here, and we're going to remain longer than a minute, which is indefinitely. We just go back in time so that the monk isn't here and we can just walk along with our stolen loot.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And we wave to him as we see him in the distance, like, hey!
Jump back and then goes, and just closes back.
He's like, I swear I brought my bag with me, but it's not here. Great. Perfect. And as you do that, you see, because you've gone back in time a little bit, you see in the distance, just behind kind of this crash, the what looks almost like a factory with some smoke coming out of it, and you get this sense, Singer, that is where you need to go.
Yeah, my memories from like when I first got flung back in time are getting a little hazy, but I definitely look at the hub and I go, yeah, it's all going down there. That's
all happening there. So, you all make your way there, and we will go into our third and final scene, which I might push along a little, just to be respectful of everyone's time with our stream here. We might run maybe like 10 minutes over. Is that all right with everyone?
Good.
Just to give us time to properly wrap up our third scene. But and that's all right, because as you get closer to the end of your story, everyone, you want to like the pace to move along, right? So as you all look at your third and final move that you now have access to, your most powerful super move, I will bring in an extra and a prop, and we'll see.
I like how all the extras and the props in this are really like, this is a sponsor stream, but they're prompts just to get you to take the burden off the GM, right? You know, it really does work. I think this system works really well.
Yeah, it worked well that like Paula then could take like, oh, that's what the voices thing's gonna have, is like the fishbowl voice, and like that wasn't explicitly written. Like that's how they have to sound. It's just a jumping off point, which is always, I think, preferable with RPG stuff. Ooh, Century of Lutu. Oh, man. Cranky jailers who wield regolith weapons to hunt and detain escapees.
Don't worry, look at my...
Thank you, Verdukai.
I can become a spinning blade.
Oh my gosh.
I think
we're all right. Buzzsaw. So great. Yeah, I can always add, you lodge into something. That's brilliant.
I hope. Why else am I going to the hub?
Oh my gosh, Singer can bring in a dinosaur.
That was gonna be a surprise.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. There are honestly great options on this.
These are so great.
I'd say when we go through that like time rift that I created, as I go through, I start to be kind of like that. Every 10th frame, like I'm just not there.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I'm flickering a little bit.
Yeah, so Singer's beginning to flicker.
Okay, I like that.
And you don't know, is this just one of these anomalies that is happening? Like everything around you is actually the whole, because you haven't dealt with these anomalies yet. As you are approaching, even though you've gone back in time, even it seems like that action even has like almost like weakened the thread.
Yeah.
And so occasionally other things, just like those memories that you saw in the crashed, destroyed prison, kind of looking like projections and then sort of being corporeal. Some of the stuff around you right now, like this industrial hub you are walking up to, it specifically itself is mostly corporeal, but sometimes flickers, becomes almost like a projection, and then corporeal again.
So my dog self is looking up at John and saying, "So is it like yesterday now, or is it tomorrow or Tuesday? What happened? Was it like? Can we do anything? Is tomorrow happening now, or what's to do with that?"
I love that.
Singer starts breaks into a long lecture about temporal mechanics as we walk.
I'm like, yeah, cool, buddy. Yeah, it's cool.
All right, so we need to pick a goal. I know what I think we should do here, but well, you know what? Either one. You all can. Both of you. You all can decide from either of these things. This is lunar and local factories have merged to ramp up production. Textiles, alloys, even herbs. Forges shape demon iron to order. Duat agents trade weapons lost by or stolen from the authorities. Trucks stall on narrow roads as the weather worsens. The players learn that. There might be a thing you learn here. But yes, we have goals. Sorry, Matthew, what were you going to say?
Well, I was looking at these. We could do something on the lines of, that this industrial building is like taking all of this stuff out of the ground and shouldn't be, and it's like making everything like the rip worse and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes sense.
Causing the anomalies, yeah.
Yeah.
And that could be a merchant's corrupt
business dealings.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're taking all this stuff out of the ground to make their product, but it's destabilizing the timeline and the planet and the moon and all that type of stuff as well, making this rift massive. Or we could do something with the irate Titan, but I feel like that's going to take more explaining.
Well, I mean, the whole story of this one, going back to that, it says the eccentric Titan Nephrit bent the laws of nature to do this, and it could be it's not that this was theoretically, it could be that it wasn't so much that this was a nefarious act. It's just, this guy's just messed up because his mask is all broken.
Just raging.
Oh, like that.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
You could send his mask through time.
Yeah. But it could be, kind of a mixture of both. That this industrial hub is like mining into the ground, and it hit this sleeping Titan or something, and mines directly into the mask. Not to take over the story or anything.
No, but that is what we're all working on, figuring it out together. So I like all of that. Let's guide ourselves toward that. I think that's really interesting. As you approach this industrial hub and you begin to explore the factory floors, the machines that are cranking, the sentient AI kind of just doing their routine, stuck in their tasks they've been assigned. There is,
but not art.
But not art. They are not doing art. They're pushing buttons.
Anything but.
There is, you can see like a drill in the middle of the room, and a giant drill, like super evil villain kind of size drill,
like the Mole Man drill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And some of the AI, some of these robots animated by ATMA are pulling out whatever's being mined from this space. But there's also, you see, sentries around it.
We can see time.
Sentries. Let me share this with you.
Anyone acknowledge my pun?
Can see time.
Time, centuries. We see centuries. Centuries are...
Oh, yes.
Pretty
centuries.
Good.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The fun bit for everyone was when I explained it.
Yeah, but it was good, though, because I needed it. Because I wasn't thinking about the pun of centuries.
Too good for us, man.
Yeah. So 2 former jailers, cranky jailers of the crashed prison who've been reassigned to guard whatever is in this hole under this drill. They wield regolith weapons, originally to hunt and detain escapees from Lutus prison, but now who knows what they're guarding. Coins, friends, and dreams lure them places. Off duty, they pose for photos, salvage demon iron from valleys and void rifts, and mentor human adepts hoping to master the psychic arts. But right now, they are working. They are guarding whatever's in this hole. And they are tough. They have 3 health, and they cost me 2 tokens to play. So, this is what you see as you enter this room. What do you do?
I see a jailer of the place that I definitely didn't come from and immediately panic.
All right, so you all see Singer panicking.
I turn to John and say, he's scared of drills.
He's got one of them phobias.
Got a phobia. Yeah.
Yep, that's it. That's definitely it. Yep.
So I'm thinking, I mean, sentry's out here just doing a job, but like there is a big pit. We could just toss them right in. Easy as pie ish. Or we could try to sneak around. Singer, hey man, do you think not that you know these people obviously, would not suggest that you do. But if you were to see, something like this, a person like that walking around, bronze or brain, what do you reckon? Like,
well, me, brain, that's a given. But you could be. What I will say, they're very strong. However, we do have this bag full of crystals with stored with massive amounts of energy. Could be some kind of explosive effect if we can time it right and throw it and explode them. Not entirely sure the catalyst for that, but it seems theoretically possible.
That makes sense. We got a big drill, we got crystals. Maybe we just make the two, meet. Boom, close up this rift. Stop
explosions are great at closing things. Yeah,
they just close stuff all around them. I mean, it gets more open before it gets closed.
It's like you have to make a mess to clean your room.
Yeah, it's important.
If the drill is causing the problem, getting rid of the drill certainly seems to be a way to get rid of it.
In this moment, the ground rumbles and shakes. You feel as though it's emanating from... The drill is not moving at this point, but you feel as though it is emanating from that hole that had been drilled into. You think this is because some of the robots who are clearing out some of the mining, whatever they're mining, kind of like lose their balance and topple over, like those robotics videos where the thing like jumps and then it falls over, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They fall over and the whole room flickers from corporeal to projector back to corporeal in the strongest anomaly flash that you have felt thus far.
This thing is not stable. It's not getting better. I'll tell you that.
I definitely think that whatever we do, we need to do it soon. Hold on a second. Cover my right eye. I want to see the future of what's about to happen. So if we do nothing, I guess I want to see where the sentries will go. So if we can avoid them, cool.
Smart.
And then where the problems will originate from and how do we get there to fix it.
Sure. So you glance into the future, and from what you can tell, these sentries are not going anywhere. They are stuck on this particular post, making you think perhaps there's something particularly important that they are guarding here in this hole. And you know that if you do nothing, that eventually the problems will get worse and worse and worse with these anomalies, and it does feel like they first get worse from that hole where they drilled, and then it spreads out from there.
The future's bad. Deal with them.
All right. I hear that, and I get my dog turns back into a gladiator, and the blade that the gladiator is holding starts spinning around its finger, and the gladiator throws me, and I'm going to attack one of these sentries.
Okay. They had not noticed you yet for some reason. I've realized they probably should have. You were just walked in there, but I hadn't said that they had. So I say they haven't noticed you. So that's good for you.
That sounds like tough with a bonus of at least 1.
Well, if you're going to spinning blade, I believe that's a hasty, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm doing it real tough. So, it's like a hasty +2 then, I feel like.
Oh, you want a circumstance bonus. Okay. Okay, on a 7+.
Yeah, you just said that they're not expecting it.
Yeah, they aren't. On a 7+, you become a flying buzzsaw. Anything you run into is cut in half. Okay, then you know what? Let's say that...
I'm gonna go, and I ricochet. If you look at it, it says ricochet, so I'm going to go through both of them.
Ricochet wildly. Okay, here's what I will say to you, Matthew. On a 7+, you get this without any consequences. That's your boon. That's your buff, right? Because they're surprised. So there are no success with a consequence. On a 10 or higher, you will be able to get both of them.
Do I get a bonus for doing a sneak attack?
No, but the bonus is there will be no negative consequence.
Yeah, I understand that.
Regular...
I understood what you said there, but I'm asking a separate question now.
I'm going to say no.
So, but
I like that you asked.
Your spinning blade does give you that +1 to hasties. That's kind of nice, right?
Oh, does it give me +1? So actually, I do get +1
the ability itself, it seems like.
So this is an 11 then.
Oh my goodness! So you have just out of as
not that you needed it, but.
Singer is saying these guards aren't going to go anywhere. There's something there. We need to deal with them. The gladiator forms, the axe, the ghost axe, your friend Ursa becomes a spinning blade. It shoots off. It slices right through. Never knew what hit him. One of the sentries. It bounces off of the wall. You think he's gonna get embedded into the wall, but oh no, he doesn't. He ricochets off at just the perfect angle to zing, and cut the other sentry right in half. They both stand there for a moment. And then their top half slides off.
And I fly back into the gladiator's hand, and he catches it just exactly the same way that Captain America grabs Mjolnir for the first time, you know?
And then he comes down into a triangle tripod pose or whatever.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like Marvel stuff, that is cool.
That moment's dope, right?
That's a great moment.
So, wow, you're... Good thing you have a ghost axe with you. Those 2 sentries are taken out. And the other robots are so, trapped by the routines that they've been given. Their, programming that they don't even react to this.
Technically, it's only just 1 damage, but we're saying that I sliced them in half, so that's cool.
You slice them. We're saying you sliced them in half because you rolled a critical.
It gets cut. I mean, it says anything you run into is cut in half.
It does.
True, it does. It does.
Yeah, so we're going to say, you did it. And you got a critical, and that was your bonus for them basically having sneak attack.
And then I say, okay, now what?
I run over to their bodies. They were guarding something specific. Is it the regolith jewelry that they were?
So are you looking down into the hole?
Yeah.
They were on the edge of the hole. So you're looking down, and way far down, you see the body of a titan, crafted out of rocks, wearing a beautiful mask that you can tell was drilled into. The esper is coming from it, waves of distortion. You know that this is where the anomaly is emanating from. You also see on the titan's body bits of regolith jewelry. It is a living stone that Titans farm to create their shells and structures. Attuning to it can be overwhelming for adults, but with time you can control the stone's growth. Careful though, change or regrow it too often. It'll erode into sand. Now, it does say here this jewelry might heal a wounded Titan. I don't know how. Or it could just reflect last year's fashions. I don't know how, but perhaps you all could figure that out together. So that's what you see when you peer down there. But the ground is rumbling more and more. You know that this is about to get to a point beyond repair soon.
All right. We got the sweet jewelry, right? Now, if I know anything about sculpting, Airslip, I've been talking to you for a while now. Let me know if this is right. To make clay into a statue, you gotta fire that thing, right? We've got the clay. We got the fire. Make them happen together, right? Something like that. I think it's a good plan. Who's gonna throw the bag?
The bag of crystals?
Yep. Who's the crystal bag guy?
I think I was holding it.
Who's the crystal bag guy?
That's my thought, but I'm not a sculptor.
My concern is just that the explosion, if it does happen, will just break the mask even more. The mask is, I believe, what's causing the anomalies, and it's kind of the opposite of what we're going for. Now, if we can definitely destroy the drill, that will stop the anomalies from continuing. So, yes, if we can, if one of you muscle boys can hurl this.
That's us, the muscle boys.
Yes. Can hurl this directly at the drill, that might be enough to pulverize it.
Ursula, what do you think? You think I should give it a go? You want to try? Do you want to spin blade that bad boy up there?
I'm a dog of action. Do it.
That's why they call you the Crystal Bag Man, because you got the plan with the crystal bag. All right.
I hand over the bag, keep one crystal for myself.
Yes, that makes sense.
I like it.
Yo, I just have to interrupt for a moment. We never talked about Matthew's second move, which is just that he can spot art forgeries, and I love the idea that a ghost axe is like, that's a fake painting.
Fake painting.
That is hilarious.
And Sass Queen says, when I reference these three, it's always by the muscle boys over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
right.
what is, so are you saw blading it up again here, Airslip? How are we approaching this, what were we doing?
Well, so if Singer's throwing the bag, I think Johnny could shoot it, and that'll, something like that.
Ooh, I like it.
Do something.
Can I shoot the bag? Can I find something
Will
to
that do
shoot it with?
Yeah.
Shoot it with a laser.
Well, you've got to have a gun. Look at you.
I mean, yeah, let's be honest. There's got to be something there. Some sort of projectile.
Well, you're, let's see.
You have a talisman.
Yeah.
A talisman of shooting.
You have a talisman of ATMA and iron.
Yeah, it's made of pure ATMA, so I'm gonna do that. Once the bag is up near that drill, I'm gonna take my talisman off,
Fuck it.
whisper a word to it, which kind of starts activating, and I just hurl like a hand grenade, so it releases a little bit of this ATMA energy to activate the crystals. That's what I've done.
All right, so I guess I'm tossing the bag at it. You're detonating the bag. Is that what's going on?
Exactly right.
I love the teamwork that's been happening this whole story.
Yeah. We're just setting each other up to spike it down. We still got to figure out how to fix the Titan mask.
That's two throws. So those are both, I would say, barrage.
Okay.
Because you are shooting a distant throw.
It's a very clever idea. So that's, I would say, a quick and clever idea. That's also tough. I'm just throwing those out.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say calm or sly. Let's first have Singer throw the bag and see how close it can get to the drill.
Yeah, this is gonna go great. I have +0 on both of those skills.
You're strong. You can do it.
Good.
But if we need to get away in a quick fashion, it would be great if we had some kind of like ancient winged monster that we could all get on. I don't know about that.
Well, let's see how stressed out I get from this. Yeah, that was a failure.
Oh no!
So I toss the thing. It falls into onto the mask. I go, nope. I pull out my pocket watch, really find time.
Okay.
And now I'm feeling the stress, so I got to do this quickly.
Yes. And you, because of the stress, your watch, and you're gonna take a harm this time from the watch burning you. So
we've made you lay on that watch pretty heavy.
Yeah.
All right.
Deal me a harm. So I'm trying again, but I get to use a different skill this time. So I'm going to use hasty.
Okay. That's such a cool character. They're all of y'all have very cool characters.
The character fundamentally breaks like D&D.
I re-roll that.
Oh my
goodness. There we go.
Having learned lessons from your previous failed attempt. Now, Singer takes that, rewinds time, takes that bag, has connected all the things, and throws it, right? So it actually, you don't even have to, like, meet it in the air, John. It catches on one of the bits of the drill and is hanging there perfectly, which will make your attempt much easier, I think. So now I'm
going to use the calm of the moment and center myself to do this properly. So I'll get plus.
Well, you thrive in danger, don't you? That's why.
Oh yeah, baby. It makes me more calm. All right, let's see what we do. Be there. No.
Oh, no.
Oh. Snake eyes. So I think I load up and I give it my best fastball and I just fire it right over and past. And I'm like, damn, I like that necklace. That sucks.
Right. I'll look back at both of them. The dog will look back at both of them. And the dog will put the axe down. It'll just sniff the axe once more, like with a little whimper.
No, don't you dare.
The dog will turn into
turns into Iron Giant.
Yeah, turns into like the gladiator again and starts running at this bag, and it's going to try and smash the bag.
Oh my gosh, no!
Well,
I can make a new dog like straight away.
It doesn't matter. Your thing will bring a bystander to tears, being us.
Yeah, I'm bringing all the bystanders to tears. So I'm gonna roll. I think this is tough though, right?
Yeah, I would say it's toughness. Yes, because you're using the physicality, the physical strength of the gladiator to smash into these crystals and try and explode them, and that's that 11, is a critical success. So
I've
Matthew,
rolled so well,
even
even with digital dice, I roll amazing in RPGs.
I've continued to suffer.
Yeah.
So.
Describe for us what this looks like as you smash into these crystals, explode them, and destroy this drill.
This drill blows up in a violent eruption, and the regolith that it's drilling all this mineral kind of like just bursts into dust and slowly drifts down the hole and just coats the whole mask that this titan was wearing with this regolith, and the mask starts to heal itself.
Perfect. Yes.
That's cool.
And as the mask stitches itself back together using the dust of this magical jewel mineral, the rumbling settles, the occasional flashes of corporeal into like projector screen into corporeal settle, and everything becomes much more stable until you feel as though these anomalies have been stopped. But Singer, you're still here. Will Singer ever be able to return home?
I told the Singer and say, that'll be $300, please.
Do you accept crystal?
Yes.
And now a rampaging dinosaur.
Wait, no, hold on. Your body just died. I was moved to tears at your sacrifice, and then the axe floats up.
That'll be $300.
Yeah.
And as we wonder what the future holds for this trio, this unlikely trio of bungling heroes, we fade to black, and perhaps one day we'll see them again on their next adventure.
Boom.
And that is, you've done it. You dealt with the unstable source of the dangerous anomalies, the broken mask, which we got from the Industrial Hub card, healed brilliantly through teamwork, creativity, and imagination. And that, everyone, is ATMA.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Y'all are awesome. That was so fun to play with you. Thank you. What great ideas you all had for everything. And Matthew, that was a perfect way to come up with the resolution. And it was awesome, brilliant. Y'all are amazing. Thank you for letting me
sacrifice.
Help run the story.
Thank you, Paula, for leading us through it and stuff. Yeah. So that is what's fun with ATMA, is that like there's a lot of these prompts, so you're not like coming up with something out of nothing. Like that's a really cool thing that a lot of RPGs provide as well. But this gives you a really rich world. Every time we've come back to play, we've had like, we're always in very different areas. Like I like that you get that location, which really
there's a bunch of different locations. Keep talking. I'll see if I can pull up.
Yeah, so there's just a lot of stuff to explore there. But I just like the open nature of the prompts, and like they really hammer home that like this is a collaborative effort, and that was like reflected in the rule book, which is like very brief. Ultimately, it's not long at all because it's not complicated mechanically.
And these are like all the characters that can be chosen. Sorry, I've got a second little thing here for the bottom. You'll just have to. And then these are all the. Let me just quickly. I still can't. These are all the sorry everyone. I'm sorry. I'm trying to quickly just show you the different things.
These are all the excuses Paula's coming up with.
These are all the sorry, I'm covering Shea's face. These are all the different backdrops you can choose. So I chose this one, but you have all these different ones. So you have different settings for all kinds of stuff in the
well, you could make your own as well if you wanted to.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Anything you want,
Yeah, the whole world is really interesting. Like,
it's just always ghosts and monsters and the ethereal plane and
some sci-fi,
time travel and sci-fi and freaky weird stuff's going on all the time.
And it really seems like once you can easily use all of the narrative that it provides, but you can also just completely adapt it to whatever you want it to be. So if you wanted it to be like, oh, y'all are magicians in a circus or something, like you could do that if you just use these things as inspiration,
jumping off points.
Absolutely.
So that's ATMA. It has had a refreshed, I believe, retail release, so you should be able to find it in stores right now. You can also find it there if you click on the link that dropped in chat at the website. You can find the physical copy of the game. Like I said, you can play it with cards and flipping things over from decks, or you can use, if you go to the website there, you'll find the virtual tabletop as well that is free to use, and you can try it out there yourself. Big thanks to Miramorph Games for sponsoring this stream. We appreciate them and all the ways that they support what we do here as tabletop gamers on Twitch.
It would work really well as well, I think, if you were just everyone brought their laptops to RPG night.
Yeah, you could all just play it that way
as well. You know what I mean?
It's so convenient. Yeah, I really enjoy the virtual interface.
Yeah, it works great.
Y'all are awesome. I love playing with you. So, Shea and Mike, thank you for joining me and Matthew here for This Game Gets Dicey. Do you want to tell the fine folks, if they don't know you, where they might find you for things? We'll start with Mike. We'll work our way backward.
Sure.
So, what's next? What's coming up for you, Mike? And then we'll wrap up and send people off.
Oh my gosh. Nick and I will be streaming later tonight. I have no idea what the heck we're going to play, but we have right now just a ton of different playthroughs coming out on our YouTube channel. So for stuff that's coming out soon, that's just dropping, we have some stuff from like Arcane Wonders soon, Ezra and Nehemiah, which will be the next Garfield game in the Ancient Anthology series. There's a ton of things going on, so just check out the YouTube, the Brothers Work.
Yeah, dropped in chat right there.
Yeah, to see a bunch of like our upcoming playthroughs in the next several weeks and catch up on stuff like Great Western Trail New Zealand, if that's something you're keen that we've done recently. So go check it out.
Shea, what about
you? I'm currently working on a tutorial for John Company. So if you like really heavy Euro games where you're playing despicable people, then that might be up your alley. It's going to be a very big video. So that's going to come out around the end of the month, I think.
And that's on your...
it is on my YouTube channel, RTFM. So, yeah. And... so that's the big thing that I'm working on. I'm also I filmed a few things with a new channel called Above Board. We do it's board game comedy sketches and stunts. And one of the like stunts that we filmed. So me and the other group, we actually went to the Bahamas.
What?
To film, to go scuba diving. I didn't go scuba diving. I stayed on the boat. But our host went scuba diving, played a board game underwater on a shipwreck surrounded by sharks.
What?
And not even like in a shark cage or something, surrounded by sharks. So that is going to be coming up pretty soon. I think it's coming up this month. And then I also did some sketches while we were there, and so those should be coming up
awesome
as well.
Cool.
So that is at Above
at
Board
Above
TV.
Board.
That is
TV.
insane.
Yeah, it was awesome. Kamala, it wasn't a water-themed game exactly, but it was by Chip Theory. So they were playing Too Many Bones, and Chip Theory is kind of known for having essentially waterproof components. So we decided to put that to the test.
That's
the actual
very funny, man. Golly.
Let's go and check that out. But also we do sketches. We do like Man on the Street coverage as well. They have a great series where they interview local board game stores.
Cool.
It's a lot of fun stuff over there.
Yeah. Matthew, what's the latest stuff with you? You've got Yesland. If you're not following Matthew's YouTube travels, you should be doing that.
Yeah.
So what's the latest things that have been coming out that people can be checking out, Matthew?
There's a new video every Wednesday, and the first episode of me in the Philippines is tomorrow. So that's
Yay! Is it Yesland Travel or just Yesland?
What do you mean?
Your YouTube channel.
I think it's Yesland Travel. Yesland. I don't know. What the URL or the name of the channel?
What the @ is?
At Yesland Travel.
Great. There you go.
Oh. That's me.
Yeah.
I've been spending a lot of time turning all my videos into shorts. So
I'm freaking loving those because they're great, like bite-sized reminders of awesome stuff.
I'm trying
little excerpts and things. Yeah.
I'm aiming for a shorter day for the next 3 months.
Dude, if you haven't watched one, go watch, y'all. You can see them on all the social media stuff when we talk about the bridge in Kosovo. The way you cut that together, I won't say what happens, but like it is just very.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's perfect as a short. So definitely check those out, and I'm super excited for the Philippines stuff and get caught up on Taiwan in the meantime if you haven't watched those.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, it's so good. I love that. I keep saying it, but the wrap up video is so good.
Yeah, it was good.
So good.
And what's next for me? I will be
Paula.
streaming with Matthew on Watch It Played on Thursday morning. I don't know what day it is. We're going to be playing Neotopia from Arcane Wonders. And then Thursday afternoon.
So the games we're covering soon. And guess what? I'm going to be calling Shea or Paula about it. So just say bye.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that on the Watch It Played Twitch channel. And all right, we've run over a bit, so we're going to wrap up here. Let's see if anyone is...
Only because we were late, because we were too busy being friends and talking.
We're too busy being friends.
Shea.
Hey, well, how about we send y'all on over to Rado Runs Through? How about that? A channel that Shea's done some work with. So enjoy whatever is being streamed there. I don't know what it is, but it'll be something. So we'll catch y'all later, and thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.